Welcome to the show where stories unfold.
Let's go.
People doing big things, breaking the mold. They're changing the game, making waves every day.
Big move.
Shining bright with the work that is right.
Shine on.
This is Breaking the Silence with
Nikki Nicole in the building.
Unleash your inner voice and make some
Turn
noise.
up. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast with Arthur and Nikki Nicole. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell your cousin, tell your friend, tell your neighbor to come over here and break the silence with Arthur and Nikki Nicole. Welcome to another powerful episode. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the conversation.
It's a Sunday afternoon, and like any other Sunday, you're relaxing. Went to church, maybe, and now you're home, settled in from eating dinner, and you're just tired. You're drained, and you run on a half a tank of adrenaline and a whisper of sleep. But that baby is crying, and you're shuffling back and forth like, what should I do? What should I do? And as the baby cries, the voices in your head get louder. You hear your mom's voice. Don't spoil that baby. Let him cry a little. And you also hear your spouse's voice saying the same thing. And while you're hearing these voices, that scream gets louder and louder. And then there's your own voice. Pick them up. Why let them scream like that? I don't even know where to begin when it comes down to the so many voices I've had when it came to this thing we call parenting. All the voices that mattered in my life still to this day is ringing in my mind. But you know what? We all get to that moment where mama knows best, but which mama? You see, we don't just bring home a baby. We bring home generations. We bring home memories, wounds, hopes, habits. We bring home the echoes of our childhood and the expectations of everyone around us. We bring home our mamas and our mama's mama and every other mama who ever told us how it should be done. And here you are trying to hold it all together with a burnt cloth, a baby, and a lot of unspoken pressure, right? So let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Breaking the Silence. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole. And in this series of motherhood, holy shit, I'm doing it again. I'll talk about becoming a mother for the third time after 24 years, how things have changed, and how exciting this journey has been thus far. I speak truth where silence used to sit. And today's truth is one many mamas carry but rarely say out loud. I'm trying to be a good mom, but I don't even know whose voice or whose version of good I'm following anymore. This episode is called Mama Knows Best, but which mama? That's something to think about, right? So today I'm going to dive deep into what it means to navigate motherhood when your own upbringing, the voices around you, and the new age parenting world all conflict. If you ever felt torn between what you were taught and what you now know, if you're trying to unlearn and relearn all at once, this episode is for you. When you become a mother, you don't just receive a baby, right? You receive a mirror. You begin to see your own mother in the way you rock, scold, soothe, and even lose your temper. We all carry the voices of women who raised us. And in my time, there was a village. There was the women of the church, the women of the school, and it was my mom too at the house. And some of us had nurturing, attentive mamas. Some of us had strict survival mode mamas. Some of us had absent mamas. Some had mamas still trying to heal from their own traumas. But one thing we all had was a blueprint. And whether you follow it or fight it, that blueprint shows up every time. Maybe you swore you never say, because I said so. And then one day you hear yourself saying it. Now I know I said, I never beat my kids until I actually had kids, right? Or maybe you promised to never spank, never yell, never make your child feel the way you did. We all been there. But stress has a funny way of reviving old tools. We carry our mothers, we carry our grandmothers, and sometimes without realizing it, we carry their pain too. Yes, we carry their pain too. But here's one thing I want y'all to think about. You get to decide what you pass on and what you put down. You get to decide what you pass on and what you put down. Our mamas and grandmas believed in tough love. You know that, right? They believed in structure, in the rod, and the belt, and the switch. I remember my mama used to say, spare the rod, spoil the child. And baby, she meant that. I come from a time where if you acted out in the grocery store, then guess what? You got it in the grocery store between the frozen peas and the macaroni boxes. You got it. If you mouthed off, you got popped in the mouth and was lucky to still have your teeth. If you rolled your eyes, oh man, you better not roll them in the back of your head because you were about to get checked right where you stood. And be lucky that you was able to still use those eyes after rolling them. And if you really, really showed out, you were told, like me, go outside, pick a switch, and you better bring back one that looked like it worked. Or guess what? You would either gonna have to go back out there or your mom was gonna have to go pick it herself. You didn't want that. Back in the day, children knew their place and they stayed in their place. You didn't sit in the same room with adults. You weren't allowed in grown folks' conversations. You didn't express your feelings at the dinner table because we was unseen, unheard. But you showed respect. Period. In the story. Now, my God, things are so different. Children, which is a good thing, are encouraged to talk because now mental health is a thing. It's been a thing. We just never put it in place back in the day. Now children can express themselves. And I agree with some of that. We need to be emotionally healthy when it comes down to our children. They need to be the same way. But let's not lie now. Some of this new parenting feels confusing because you're told not to spank, not to yell, not to punish, just redirect, talk softly, get them space, put them in a corner. But when your toddler is screaming in your face with applesauce in their hair and a remote in the toilet, talking softly feel like a joke, right? And nowadays, these kids are calling 911 in a minute. Next thing you know, you looking from behind bars. Back in the day, we back in the day we had to make it to the phone. By the time we thought about dialing, your mama already snatched that car right out the wall. Today, some kids threaten to call CPS because they got a whooping. Back then, we wouldn't even try it. We're raising children in a world where discipline is labeled abuse and structure is called toxic. And we're expected to parent peacefully, perfectly, and without ever losing our cool. Hmm. Somebody tell me how is that possible? Because we're human. And most of us are mothering without a manual. We know kids don't come with a manual. Trying to blend what we were taught with what feels right in our gut, right? We are that bridge generation trying to raise kids who don't have to heal from their childhood without losing their core values that gave us what we have today and made us who we are today. But let me say this loud and clear. Our mamas got a lot right. They taught us to survive, how to be respectful, how to carry ourselves with pride. They made sure we understood that life doesn't owe us not one thing. And that strength is necessary. Strength is necessary. But they also pass down some things that don't serve us, right? Like silence, shame. The idea that asking for help is a weakness. We don't have to repeat that. We don't. We can honor our mothers without copying every single thing they did. And some things we can use. We can say, you know what? Thank you for your sacrifices, but I need to raise my child in a way that prioritizes not just obedience, but emotional wellness. So, here's the question I have for you. What kind of mama do you want to be? What kind of mama do you think your kids or kid needs you to be? Not your mama, not TikTok, not that parenting book with the perfect cover. You. What matters most to you? What values do you want to instill? What parts of your childhood do you want to carry forward? And what parts need to stop? with you. You get to choose. And that's the best part about this. You get to choose. You get to redefine what motherhood looks like in your house right now. You get to blend the old school with the new, if that's what works for you. Or you get to completely change it. You are not failing if you do things differently. You are not disrespecting your mama if you choose a gentler approach. Every child is different. You are growing, and your child doesn't need perfection. They need presence. They need you. They need love. They need you. In a nutshell. So, if this episode has stirred something in you or reminded you of some things, I want you to do three things for me. Share this episode with another mama who's navigating the same noise in her life. Follow, subscribe, so you don't miss not one more conversation about this journey. And one more thing, ask yourself tonight before you go to bed, what version of motherhood am I carrying that no longer fits who I am? Let's start talking about this out loud. Let's stop pretending we have it all figured out, because a lot of times we don't. Let's give each other grace. Because let me tell you something, this motherhood thing, it's not easy. And I've often told people, you know what? Motherhood gets a little bit more difficult, especially when your children are adults. Hmm. So yes, mama knows best, but sometimes that mama is your own. Sometimes it's a voice in your head from your childhood. Sometimes it's a stranger on the internet. Could be somebody in a Facebook group. And sometimes it's you. You know what's best because you were chosen for this child. God trusted you. So trust yourself. Trust yourself. You are the right mama, even on the hard days, even when the voices get loud, even when you're unsure. You are the mama your child needs. Not because you're perfect, but because you're present, because you're willing, because you love them. So until next time, continue to hang in there. Hold your head up, even when you can't see the road. Keep going. We end this together. Keep trusting your voice and keep becoming the mama you were created to be. And trust the process. So until next time, let's continue to break the silence together. Later.
Better days Slowly but surely it's a better space that awaits my mind, so I meditate till I levitate. I elevate when I learn not to hesitate. No more, keep moving forward. Chase my goals and focus more towards it. Hate the lows, but I need those to flourish. Place my goal in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me. Breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me, and now I'm breaking the silence like I'm Nikki Nicole. Let's go. Promise you gon' see better days. Gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better days. You gotta keep going till you see them.